Hey everyone, I'm Christa from Saltwater Studies, and join me this morning on a super fun adventure as we look for a wading bird called the Roseate Spoonbill. Now, you're going to find me today in an area where you might be a little bit surprised because I am actually at Loxahatchee Wildlife Refuge, and this is a freshwater wetland, so you might want to say, Saltwater Studies, aren't you supposed to be out at the ocean? And you are correct. But what's really cool is that a lot of the wading birds that we see over on the coastal environment also can be found in the freshwater areas. And it's definitely true in areas like Palm Beach County, where we have a high population of people over closer to the coastline, that the wading birds will go somewhere inland where they can be a little bit more in a wilder area. And so I've been here for the past few weeks, and I have found several roseate spoonbills that like to be out here. And one of the reasons I want to show them to you guys is because I find their method of feeding is really, really cool. So different wading birds use different feeding methods. And the roseate spoonbills use something called tactolocation. And this is where they put their beaks into the mouth, or into their mouth. They take their beaks and they put it into the water. They move it back and forth, and their beak will be slightly open, and then they have sensory structures all over their bills. When they come into contact with something that they would like to eat, they'll snap it shut and capture it in their beak. And it's really cool because it's a distinct difference from other types of wading birds like egrets. Egrets will use sight to locate their prey, and so they'll stalk and they'll hunt very stealthily. They'll try to sneak up on their prey and then dart in and grasp it in order to capture it at the last minute. So I wanted to try to capture both of these different feeding methods just to give you guys an idea as to what I'm talking about. So I'm heading to an area where I have seen roseate spoonbills in the past, and I'm hoping that they're going to be there today. So let's go check it out. So this is the pond where I have been regularly seeing the roseate spoonbills, and you can see there is a lot of feeding activity going on here. I don't quite see the roseate spoonbills yet, but with so many other wading birds here, I can't imagine they won't be too long in coming. So I'm just going to hang out here and watch these guys for a while and see if maybe a roseate spoonbill will show up. You'll see we've got lots of different species of birds here. We've got herons and we've got egrets, all of which are sight feeders. So I think they're trying to take advantage of these cool conditions before the day gets too hot to go out and hunt for their food. But there's a lot of activity here, so let's hope the spoonbills show up. All right, so I just saw some roseate spoonbills do a flyover and kind of checking the area out. So I'm hoping that they come back here and decide to hang out with the rest of these wading birds. In the meantime, I have my camera set up behind me because I'm trying to capture this great blue heron over here and see maybe if I can get him feeding. He doesn't seem to like my camera stand though. Let me see if I can get a picture of him in the background so you guys can kind of see where he's at. I'm hiding behind the bush. All right, he's right back here, right? And I'm hiding behind the bush to hope that maybe he'll just consider me as like part of the scenery, and so he'll feel more comfortable in showing me some of his feeding behavior. But he doesn't seem to be buying it. So we're gonna hang out here for a while and see if maybe I can get him on camera. This is that great blue heron that I've been watching as I'm waiting for the roseate spoonbills. And this guy has not moved a muscle in a couple minutes. He is just completely stationary, waiting for his prey to come close enough so that he can strike. So I have been at this pond for about an hour and I am not seeing any roseate spoonbills. I'm gonna go and wander around a bit and see maybe if they're at a different pond. There's a lot of action here, but no roseate spoonbills. So I'm gonna go see if I can find them somewhere else. So I have been wandering around a good portion of this wildlife refuge this morning in search of these roseate spoonbills, and I have not seen them. One of the things that I always encourage everyone to do is that when you are outside enjoying God's creation, ask Him to show you cool things and then watch Him respond. And this is something that I do consistently all the time. And sometimes God responds immediately. I've even had Him show me what I am praying for the minute I stop talking and asking for it. And those moments are just incredible. Other times, God chooses not to respond immediately, and He asks me to wait. And it seems like this is one of those days. I have been praying for the roseate spoonbills because I really wanted to video them and show them to you guys, but it seems like the Lord is saying wait. And so as I was thinking about that, as I have had a lot of time to think about it, because I've been marching around this wildlife refuge in search of them, I was actually just reminded of the Israelites marching through the desert, waiting on the fulfillment of, God's promise to them as well. But I'm reminded of Romans 5:4 that talks about the need for perseverance, because perseverance produces character and character produces hope. If God responded to every prayer we've ever prayed immediately, we wouldn't learn how to persevere and to persist in difficult times. And so it seems like sometimes God responds immediately to our prayers, and other times He asks us to wait because He's working on developing character in us. And both times are incredibly important because, on one hand, we see God respond immediately as a reminder that He hears us and He loves to respond to our prayers. And then other times He's like, I have bigger plans for you. You need to develop some character so that you have the character to sustain the calling that you've been given. And so sometimes He chooses to wait. And it seems like today is a waiting day for me and roseate spoonbills. So I'm going to look a little bit more, because sometimes God does like to wait until the last minute. But if He doesn't show up today and He doesn't show me the roseate spoonbills, I absolutely know that He will show me them another time. And that is hopeful anticipation that is based on His character, knowing that He is who He says He is, and He loves to fulfill His promises. He has to fulfill His promises because He cannot lie. So thank you for coming on this adventure with me today, and I can't wait for you to join me again on my next adventure.